Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. I'm here with a farm for you. I built this on a 30 by 20 lot in Windenburg. The Sims 4 Cottage Living isn't out yet, but I still felt super inspired to work on a farm. I've been watching lots of game changer content about the Sims 4 Cottage Living, and I just couldn't help it. I felt so inspired. I actually tried to build something different, but it wasn't working because I just had this idea in my head. I was just envisioning this very cute small farm, so I just built it. The Sims 4 Cottage Living or the New World is set in the UK. It's European. It has this whole cottagecore vibe, and I was trying to stay away from this look because once the pack actually comes out, I'm going to work on lots of builds in this style. So I really want to build some farmhouses, mansions, just proper farms, and I want to stay in this style so it looks really cute and cottagecore like. But for this, because the pack isn't out yet, I just decided to build a really cute US American farm. So I was inspired by this style, and I did this on purpose because when the pack comes out, I just want to create content using the pack, and I just don't want to create the same stuff again. So this farm is different from the whole aesthetic, and it's just a different vibe, but I still wanted to build a farm. I don't know, I just couldn't help it. So it's different from the pack's aesthetic, but it's still a farm and it's super cute. And of course, I couldn't use any of the new objects yet, so this is not really a really functional farm. I mean, I used some planting pots so Sims could do some gardening, but that's it essentially. I also placed some pumpkins from debug, but once the pack comes out, if you like this build, you could totally just delete some objects and, I don't know, build a chicken coop in the garden, or maybe plant some actual pumpkins, for example, so it could still be functional once Cottage Living comes out. I just wanted to mention this. I was just working on a roof decoration. I used a base game shelf for this and the tool mod by Twisted Maxi. As always, a little disclaimer, you don't need the mod for this. You can grab this build from the gallery, CC free and unmodded, but the mod is amazing. So if you want to check it out, I can totally recommend it. I've recently made a tool mod tutorial. It's on my channel, so in case you want to get into the tool mod, there's a tutorial on my channel that's updated, and I included all the new functions. I also used a base game debug wood plank. I also rotated it, and I just wanted to make this super detailed because the build itself is relatively small, and I think it's super cute when you have smaller builds, when you just add more and more details. It just looks so cute and so dreamy, and sometimes I feel like it can be too much, especially when a build is small, but for this style, it's like really hard to add too much. I feel like you can add more and more stuff, more cute flowers, and it still looks amazing. This style is just perfect if you want to clutter and just add way too many things essentially. Here I'm working on a barn door. I used a door from Cats and Dogs. I scaled it up using tool, and I just placed it on the wall. You can even see the wall color like behind the door. You can see it at the top. And I then used more base game debug shelves to create some type of cross. I just wanted to have this pattern, and I was just placing this right next to my barn door, and I had to move some shelves around so they wouldn't stick out and all that. And once I had assembled a proper cross, I could just duplicate it using tool, and this again is just for decorative purposes. I really tried to add so many different things. I also took a good look at debug once again. There are just so many amazing objects that you can use for this style, but of course once the pack comes out, we will have some proper farming objects also in debug. I saw so many great things in debug when I was watching the Game Changers content. There are so many plants and different things. I'm just so ready for this. You know that I've been waiting for a farming pack, but now that I see all the great stuff that will be in Cottage Living, I'm like extra hyped. I'm really excited, and I'm just so ready to work on some proper farms. This year working on this was already so much fun, even though it's not like a proper farm, and I just can't wait to get my hands on the pack. As soon as the pack is available, I'm going to start building for you. I'm just so excited. Also, the pond tool is going to come out before the pack. It will be a base game update, and I don't know if it's part of the punctual of this will be part of the pack, but apparently we will be able to add some special effects to the punctual. For example, some fireflies and stuff. I wish there were some butterflies. I talked about this with Sadie yesterday and she was like, oh my gosh, butterflies. And I was like, yes, butterflies would be amazing. I mean, fireflies are also super cute, especially like when it's night and all that. But just imagine some butterflies. This would be so cute as well. So there are like so many new fun things. The punctual will be game changing, like absolutely. Just think back to the terrain tools. They really changed the way a lot of builders build. And I think the same is going to happen for the punctual. So many new possibilities. What I really like is that they tied the punctual to the terrain tools. I was afraid that it would be like really basic, but you can just manipulate the terrain the way you do, and then you can just fill in a hole with water, for example. So this is just perfect. So we can really use the terrain tool and we can just fill in some areas using the pond tool. This is exactly what I hoped for, and what I saw in the last days just made me extra hyped. Building is just so much fun, but whenever there is some new stuff added, it just changes the way you build and it makes things just extra exciting. I mean, when I started my channel, there were no terrain tools yet. We didn't have platforms. We didn't even have the new foundation options where you could have different foundation heights on one lot. There were like so many things missing still. And the way I build now and basically everyone else is just so different from 2018, for example. And I think that the pond tool will be super amazing as well. I will take a good look at it. Maybe I'm going to make a guide, a tutorial. I don't know. I will see what's going to happen once I get my hands on the pond tool and all that, because I don't know. Maybe it's like really self-explanatory and really simple, or maybe I'm going to work on an updated version of my old terrain tool tutorial. I created the tutorial right after the terrain tools came out. But it's been such a long time and I've learned so many new things myself, because at this point I was just working out how it works. I was just practicing, and once I understood how it worked and once I had developed my technique, I was making the tutorial. But now I feel like I'm fluent in terrain tools kind of. So maybe I'm going to make an updated version and maybe I'm going to tie it to the pond tools, because the pond tools are tied to the terrain tools. So I think it's essential to understand the terrain tools to create some proper ponds and just some beautiful landscape. So we will see. I'm just excited. So once all these things come out, just check my channel. I'm here for you with some amazing content. This will be fun. So here at this point, I'm already done with the building itself, and I start to landscape, because you can see there's just this small build in the center on this 30 by 20 lot, but of course I had to landscape, because the landscaping is what turns a farm into a farm. I used this car from Debug because I figured it would look good and it just create the illusion of a farm. This here on the left side, this is also just from Debug. I think it's base game. And I'm also going to place some pumpkins from the spooky stuff pack inside these. So I just did my own thing. I created my own plants kind of. And then I placed some hay in the car just so it looks like a farm, and just different things, just lots of things from Debug. Like Debug was really essential for this. This plant is also from Debug. Let me know in the comments down below, what are you most excited about when it comes to The Sims 4 Cottage Living. I'm of course most excited about Build By, because I'm a builder, but I'm just so hyped for the cute animals. Like when I was watching the first trailer, the animals were what blew me away the most. Even though I'm a builder and I'm always looking out for new Build By stuff, the new world, just the whole aesthetic, the animals just blew me away. When I saw these cute llamas and all that, just so cute. And also there's always such a huge discussion surrounding new animations, and when the team decides to repurpose some animations, which I think is perfectly fine. So sometimes we didn't just get new animations and objects that would require new animations. I mean, just think back to the whole ladder situation when everyone was asking for ladders and bunk beds and all that. And I think the that it was mentioned how much work it is to create new animations. So I was just blown away that we got so many new life forms, which all like move a certain way and require new animations. And I was just really, really excited that we get so many new life forms, so many new animals. I was really excited. This blew me away. I wasn't expecting this. So even though I'm a builder, the animals just make me extra excited. And I think the gameplay will also be so much fun. I think this is a pack for everyone. I've talked about this before. Like, I mean, of course, lots of great packs also have a great gameplay aspect. Think of Cottage Living, for example. Of course, it's also all about the gameplay and that you live your life in Solani and that you discover the island and all these things. But I said in the past that Cottage Living is a perfect pack for builders because of the whole beautiful world and the new objects. The same goes for Get Famous. We got so many amazing objects. This was essentially the mansion builder pack, in my opinion. But I feel like this pack has everything. It offers so much new gameplay at the same time. It has a completely new aesthetic, so many new build by objects, and I hope that everyone can be happy when the pack comes out because I think it's very promising. Also, speaking of cute animals, a couple of days ago I thought that my cat had gotten out. She's an indoor cat. She's not allowed to go out because there's a street right in front of the house. It's a pretty busy street and it's just too dangerous in my opinion. So she stays inside, and I thought that she had gotten out and I was just so worried. So my boyfriend brought the trash out and then he came back in and then I fed the cat and we had dinner. So I knew that technically there's no way that she got out because after he came back in, she got dinner herself. I fed her and she ate. So I saw her but at some point I thought, okay, where's the cat? And I was looking for her and I couldn't find her. So we started to check like every single room, every single corner in the apartment, and we couldn't find her. And at some point you just start to doubt yourself. You think, okay, technically there's no way that she got out because no one left the apartment after we gave her dinner. So I thought, okay, it's not possible, but you think, okay, she's nowhere to be seen. Like, where is she? I got really worried and a bit hectic and looked everywhere. And then I looked behind a cupboard. So there's like a sofa in front of a radiator, and then on the right side there's like some type of relatively slim cupboard, and there's like a gap behind the cupboard, and she was sitting behind there. So I was looking behind the sofa, like behind the cupboard, and I was looking down, and suddenly these huge two eyes were just staring back at me, and I was so relieved. So apparently she managed to jump down, but she didn't dare to jump back up because she would have had to jump on the radiator, and apparently she didn't dare to do this and she was kind of stuck. We had to move the whole cupboard away from the wall so she could get out, and she's never done this before, so I didn't expect this, and I was just so relieved. I really thought that she was just gone, I don't know, teleported away magically, you never know. And she didn't make a single sound. Like when we were looking for her and saying her name, she didn't make a single sound. Maybe it's like some type of instinct thing, because when you are stuck somewhere, it's potentially dangerous to make a noise, because then you are just, it's like really easy for a predator to get you. So maybe this was like, maybe that's why cats act this way, or my cat does. I don't know if other cats do the same thing. And she did something similar once. I think I've mentioned this story before, but I'm not sure anymore. So there were like lots of clothes in the hamper, like in a laundry basket. And she managed to be in front of the laundry basket, and the clothes just kind of collapsed onto her. And she was buried below all these clothes, and she was just scared. And I think every time she tried to move back to get out, more stuff was collapsing on her. And it wasn't even a lot, and it wasn't dangerous for her. She could have just left. But I think it scared her that there was like more stuff like moving and kind of falling onto her, if that makes sense. Like this whole pile of clothes was kind of collapsing on her. It wasn't even much. It was just a laundry hamper that was full. And we were also looking for her. This was years ago, and she didn't make a single noise, and she was obviously terrified. Like, at some point I noticed that there was like a tail sticking out and that the like laundry had collapsed, and yeah, we got her out and it was fine. I don't know, this cat, like, it's super weird. Every time she just gets lost, I'm so scared. I'm generally like a bit scared and worry a lot, like that she gets out or that something happens to her. I had a dream once where she was like trying to run away. I don't know. I have a tendency to worry about stuff like this. I'm like really attached to this cat. So I don't know. Let me know if your pets have done something similar. Maybe they have scared you and you thought that your pet is gone, or that, I don't know. Like, let me know if they scared you in a way like this. If you were like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I hate when this happens, but the relief is always so sweet when you find your wonderful pet. But back to the build. So there are 2 bathrooms, one at the bottom, one at the top, and then there are 2 bedrooms. One bedroom is at the bottom. I'm furnishing this one. You can even see the truck in the background, so this is located at the bottom. The floor plan is a bit weird, and at the top you saw in the beginning that I built this really small room. It looks like a dormer almost, and when I do this for big mansions, usually I don't use dormers. They are just decorative space for me. I just use them to create some fancy like windows and for the roofing. But here, because this house is so small, you can see here how I'm using the space. So there's a level at the top as well. And I just placed this bed over here. There's like almost no space. So I at least wanted to make sure that there's like a bed or a bedroom at the bottom for the parents, for example, and then there is another room at the top. It's really small, as I said, a 30 by 20 lot, not a lot of space, but I still made sure that your Sims have everything they need for this. And I would like to say thank you so much for watching. This video is coming to an end. You can see some screenshots here, and now it's time to thank my wonderful Emerald Patreons. A big thank you to Brynja Wilcox, Jennifer Lewis, Callan Renee, Molly, Queen Uring, Talena Lynn, Tamika Mitchell, and Victoria Smithies. And a big thank you to all my other Patreons and to anyone who supports me by watching my videos and by just being here, for sticking around. I love you all so much, and I hope you have a perfect day, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye!